and another try. And again. Super. Magic, it works?
No, it's not in a presentation mode yet.
I see it correctly on my screen. I'm disconnecting one screen, sorry. For some reason, I do see it correctly in the, I'll just deactivate one screen, sorry for that. Give me a minute, please. In the meantime, if you give me a minute, I'll try to fix this one. Guys, now, excellent. So basically, you're entrepreneurs, or we can call it now entrepreneurs, entrepreneurship. So before we start, I'll be happy just to share quickly to introduce myself, and starting with these bits and pieces of who I am, and just taking the three out of the following list. So first of all, as I've mentioned, well, I'm an entrepreneur, inside and out, upside and down, as my family calls it. I'm a very curious person, and I truly enjoy challenges. I do believe that challenges are a great way to grow and develop personally and for the business. Which leads me, of course, to the last point, which is I enjoy being part of a magnificent and disruptive ideas. I seek for such initiatives, but it will allow you to better understand me as we continue with the presentation. So just to be clear, you're just seeing another slide works? Excellent. If we have silence, it's excellent. So my arrival to aquaculture sector and later on to precision agriculture was not natural or planned. As Shlomit kindly mentioned, I started my career in the IT sector. The lovely boy you see on the picture with the black hat is me during the early 80s, and rapidly shifted to aviation, consumer products, and space when exposed to new people and ideas that I believe can make a change. The move to food and water activities, if we can call it that way, was triggered by me becoming a father for the first time. And today a proud father to 5, and understanding that my aim is to improve the life of others, starting with available and basic nutrition. Aquaculture, for me at least, is a combination of food and water. So I was involved in developing new type of operational satellite along the way, which you can see on the right, which is part of my story. It's a tow truck that helps other satellites to move within location. I co-founded and managed almost for a decade the first semi-commercial marine hatchery for marine fish, such as gilted bream and Mugelcephalus, using innovative recirculated system and artificial seawater. And 900 square meters of a magnificent magic, taking it from an idea, story, and transforming it to reality, working with the best people the sector has. And the last, being part of a team developing a solution for the poultry industry. Correctly, it's not related to aquaculture, but it's basically trying to solve an issue in the industry, which is quite large. I'll share with you more later on. You see the other slide because I don't see anything now. Is it okay?
It's still on the experience slide.
I wonder what's going on.
Okay.
Okay, sorry for that. Super. My work stretches from investment to entrepreneurship, being a director, a mentor, or advisor in 3 time zones. I will just focus on 3 initiatives out of this list. It's a joint venture between Copia VC, a leading VC in Israel, and Ben-Gurion University. A research developed or initiated by the Ben-Gurion University. And Tonali Moana, it's a venture from New Zealand dealing with monitoring pollutants and pathogens in the water. But I'll be happy to take a moment to quickly present Marine Health Solutions from South Africa, which uses proteomics technology that offers the ability to functionally analyze metabolic stress and disease by protein identification and quantification. It's a remarkable technology, mostly used for human medicine, but now used for fish research. The company was founded, which is what is correlated with you guys, by two remarkable people from the University of Cape Town, South Africa. So I'm sure that we all know what is aquaculture, but it is important for me to share how I see aquaculture after being more than 14 years in the water, literally. I'll start with the following remark. Aquaculture is mostly not salmon. There are plenty of fish out there, and there are different ways of cultivating. But taking just a few from the list, geographic and culture, which is basically something that most people less tend to see. As just an example, Western consumers are price sensitive. A change in product price may likely lead to a change in demand. Eastern consumers are sensitive to product quality, such as color, shape, smell, and texture. Can a farm address both requirements in the age that we are with aquaculture? It requires interdisciplinary skills, management, researching, quick adaptability, and critical thinking are just a few skills needed to have a successful company in aquaculture. How many of you have met a farmer or technician that truly have it all, or most? Last but not least, which is my personal most interesting aspect, romantic. Yes, some people believe that aquaculture, for some reason, cultivating aquatic animals or plants is romantic. It's a question, but I'll leave it to you. So what does aquaculture master have to become better? And this is practically the short version. So the title says it all. Mostly the remark, the short version. There are so many aspects of improving aquaculture, and I'm sure that if you want to address it, it will take us a full day. But the question for you is, what makes you tick and energize you to think and invest your time? But truly, as I've noted in the last bullet, people like you are important to make aquaculture better. Moving to something which is more personal, I believe there's a shorter list, which I'm currently trying to tackle and promote. I'm connecting my vast multi-sectoral experience to assist in developing solutions to such problems. Some of the companies in my portfolio will provide a new initiative, innovative service, which was not asked before, such as Mussel App from New Zealand, which developed an app that assists them in managing mussels and oyster farms. They will be able to predict harvest date and quantity. That's an impact for the industry. This is a tool that was not being developed or even thought about before by farmers. Moving along and focusing on a few examples which I believe can illustrate the move from research to commerce, developing an idea, and basically share with you three of those. As I've mentioned, two of which are Ben-Gurion University are involved with, and one which is a true venture from New Zealand. By the way, feel free to raise questions and thoughts, and I'll be happy to address it at the end of the presentation. So, an amazing research made by Issam Khaila from the Ben-Gurion University that developed a new vaccination approach to shrimp. The idea came to Dr. Issam a few years ago while developing a different tool. And later on understood that this tool can be implemented from a basic research to an applied research. And I was asked to assist the team to promote it. One of the major ideas or thoughts at the beginning is how to innovate, but the connectivity or what to do with it later on sometimes is more problematic. What I've done with this slide, and it's important for me to share with you, is basically I broke down the process, which I believe is most importantly explaining the problem and sharing the solution. Though the technology behind the scenes is quite amazing, I prefer not to discuss it for now. So The story again is Dr. Eitan Sessler approached me and asked me to support him, taking an amazing technology and to see how it can be implemented in the aquaculture sector. After several debates and brainstorm sessions, we pinpointed a pathogen, the white spot syndrome virus, which is mostly being observed in the white leg shrimp industry, which is located in China, Vietnam, India, and Ecuador. And we had to tailor our way from a basic research to develop a tool that we will be able to implement it in the industry. As you can note above, it's currently the status, the path is from research to commerce. And the reason for that is we're still unsure if we can establish a startup, but we do understand that this technology can be developed to a meaningful solution for the industry. When we define a problem, it's very important to define the main aspect of the problem. In this case, we estimated that the annual loss of this virus is close to $1 billion annually. There are currently no commercial solutions available, and we need to develop a tool, a technology that can be implemented in a low-value product, such as a shrimp. This process has taken us from a lab in Israel to be tested and reviewed in 2 trials in Vietnam to see if we're able to develop such a solution. And what it led us to develop and to define a solution, which is basically an effective gene delivery vehicle, which allows us to vaccinate a shrimp broodstock in a very efficient and effective way. And this is something that it has not yet developed to be a full product, a commercial product. But the process of ideation and developing, pinpointing, and defining a problem, and then defining a solution was part of the work that was done over a period of 3 years. Another great example of research, a basic research that was shifted into applied research, again by Ben-Gurion University, jointly with Copia VC, a leading VC in Israel that invests in food tech and agri-tech initiative, is Topen Ltd. As opposed to my background in aquaculture, which is quite clear, I was asked by the VC to develop or basically manage the investment in a new startup called Topen. Topen is part of the poultry industry, which of course I didn't have much knowledge or understanding 3.5 years ago. But taking you slowly into the situation, basically the poultry industry is divided into broiler chickens and layer chickens, where broilers are being used in the process of 40 days to produce meat. And as opposed to that, layers chickens are mostly used for egg production on the period of 2 years. And surely, in order to produce eggs, the market requires only female. And Dr. Uri Abdu, a leading professor from Ben-Gurion University, basically approached us in Copia VC and explained the following problem. Currently, in order to produce only female layers, there is a process called chick cooling, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with, which mostly leads to a brutal disposal of more than 7 billion one-day-old chicks a year. In order to supply just female layers to the market. And Professor Uri Abdu basically established his research, applied research based on a well-defined problem, which allowed him to approach Copia and with the assistance of Copia to develop a solution, which is basically developing two biotechnological tools which allows the production of all female layer chicks, which is quite innovative. And experiments are on the way in Ben Gurion University, which is quite exciting. This is truly a remarkable achievement. And if you're able to scale it and commercialize it, we'll be able to save and improve welfare. We'll be able to save life of chicks and basically produce what is required by the industry, which is all female layer chicks. Another amazing startup, which is, well, truly just to compare or to share with you, was started from an idea by a founder from New Zealand. And basically based on his research in the academy, but the founders decided to establish this startup from scratch and basically develop a technology which allows accurate testing in a fraction of a time as opposed to other solutions available in the market. This allows the problem without having such an accurate testing is basically the decision-making cannot be properly made without fast and accurate reports, which leads to unnecessary operational costs. And surely we have lost yield just in New Zealand in the mussel industry. We estimate it's $140 million annually. The solution that was developed by the founder is basically an accurate and real-time device which can be used on site. As opposed to the two previous examples, the researcher shifted from a research in the academy and decided to establish his own startup, quite an amazing, and which leads to, as I've mentioned, to comparison between the other solutions available in the market. As you can see, where the company is available, the venture is able to provide a result less than 10 minutes in a high accuracy, as opposed to hours or even days in other available technologies exist today. So the key takeaways, at least from those three cases, was first of all, you need to identify a commercial problem. You need to approach the right customer and learn from him. You need to provide a valuable solution and surely not a technology. Doing that way, you should find a way to differentiate yourself from competing solutions and develop a practical business model. Part of engaging the aquaculture industry is us providing a solution that our customers, farmers, cooperatives, may be able to pay it in a simple way, in such a way that the pricing will be attractive. Even if we develop amazing technologies, it's important that our pricing be attractive. As I've mentioned before, farmers or the aquaculture industry is quite conservative, quite unique to aquaculture, although we can see it in other agriculture activities. The sales cycle, basically, the moment we have introduction with a farmer till the moment he pays, or at least agrees to buy a product or service, is quite long. And truly, we need to engage with a direct relationship with customers. Above all, enjoying the process. It's most important if you want to take a move from research to a commerce interaction. I'll be happy to answer any questions. Feel free to share your thoughts. There are some questions at the end for you, so just be ready for that.